we gonna get one right. We are back. It's the high differential. That is the 6'6" Neil. I am the 4'10" Nick. We got the results from the Dandy. We will talk about that. We were wrong again. Yeah, and we really weren't even that close in this one, but we will break that down. We'll also talk about the Whitney, which is this weekend. We're turning into a horse racing pod. Churchill and Naira has announced a 6-race series, which has a lot of positives, but also has some negatives. We will go into that. And baseball's trade deadline. The Dodgers, like always, are making moves. And there's other teams like the Braves and the Reds that pretty much did nothing. So
they did nothing.
We'll go into that. But spent the weekend on Saturday at Spike Out Sarcoma out there at the Blind Squirrel. Had to fight off the rain, but was a good day for a good cause, and was good to see a bunch of people out there on Saturday.
Yeah, no, it's always one of those events that you have circled on the calendar because, you know, like you said, it's for a good cause, for our buddy Michael Vanover's foundation for his brother, Spike Out Sarcoma. And, you know, the whole crew is always out there. You know, the ice cold buckets of beverages are flowing. You know, the food's always pretty solid at the Blind Squirrel. Didn't win any raffle prizes, bought a couple raffle tickets and came up empty once again. I pretty much have the worst luck when it comes to raffle prizes.
Dude, I've never won anything like that.
It's impossible to win those things, but no, good day.
Rumor was like there were a couple people that won multiple prizes at the same time.
That's what I heard.
Like,
I did hear that, but I mean, it's all about how many tickets you buy and how many tickets you put in the buckets for each prize. So
yeah, and I mean, I think I threw multiple in one of them, the bourbon one, but yeah, the rest of them are just getting one, and
still came up empty.
Couple of the golf prizes we threw some tickets in there, but none of us won. I did get a new Spike Out Sarcoma T-shirt. I did realize that the one I was rocking was from 2019, so it was time to upgrade.
There you go.
So we did get a new shirt, and a bunch of people out there getting Shady Rays sunglasses, which all of them are donated by Shady Rays. So that's pretty cool of Chris Ratterman and those guys out there at Shady Rays. But it was a good day. The kiddos were all putting together a tattoo parlor the entire day.
That's right.
So by the end of the day, I think we all at least had 3 tattoos.
Sure did.
A couple on our necks where we didn't even know what we were getting. I think mine was a dinosaur egg on the right side of my neck. And what did you end up with on your neck?
Man, I had a dinosaur. I had a pirate. I had a shooting star. I don't know. I had all kinds of stuff all over me. So
I had a rocket. I had a rocket on my arm. Was hoping that would be a little omen to what would happen on Sunday with Ricky Fowler playing in the Rocket Classic, but he did not play well on Sunday, so it did not do any good. But good times were had out there on Saturday, and like I said, I was impressed. It was raining about as hard as it can rain without being a thunderstorm, and those people were just playing volleyball right in the middle of it like nothing's going on.
Yeah, no, they kept at it. No lightning, so they said play on.
And as we wrapped up Spike Out, we went over to Brownies and we were able to catch the Jim Dandy, which was taking place Saturday afternoon at Saratoga. We were both against Renegade for the win. I think you had him finishing 3rd and I had him finishing 4th. Is that correct?
That is correct, yeah.
And I think a lot of the reasons I had him finishing 4th is because you knew that it was going to be Commandment and Renegade both kind of battling for the favorite and both hovering around that 1-1 mark. And Todd Pletcher, we had talked about it last week, just how much he had struggled in this meet. He was 0 for 17 on the main course, 0 for 14 with 3-year-olds, 0 for 5 in stake races. Well, that all came to a close on Saturday as he wins 5 races. And basically, it was a feat he hadn't last accomplished since 2004, and he shares the record with Chad Brown, who's done it 3 times. So he got off the mat in a big way, winning 5 races, and the big one of the day was Renegade.
Yeah, no, like you said, I had him finishing 3rd. I had Chip Honcho as my winner, and he finishes 4th. And what really was a 4-horse race, because I don't even remember who the 5th horse was in that race. It just totally didn't belong. But yeah, no, good for Todd Pletcher. Renegade, we've always said he's been a good horse. He just came up short in the Derby, um, by a nose, and he's glad he's back in the winner circle. And was this is this an automatic qualifier for the Classic or no? This
No,
was not.
no, it's just a precursor for the Travers. But one other reason why I was off Renegade is because he likes to come off the pace, and we didn't know how much pace was going to be in this race. And I'll be honest, it looked like he was way too far back. It looked like he was way too far back. And even Todd Pletcher talked about he was concerned. And like, yeah, I don't know. He might be a little too far back there to get him. But Irad just said this is the way this horse likes to run. He trusted the horse that he could make a move. Came very wide. And it was Commandment who was kind of out battling Silent Tactic. Looked like Commandment was finally going to win. This horse, it likes to come in second. It looks like a little bit.
That's the way it's
and
been.
it was wearing it was wearing blinkers for the first time. And they Flavia and Pratt talked about how it took him a little bit to engage the Silent Tactic, but finally saw him there, he was re-engaged, and maybe he didn't see Renegade coming from the outside with those blinkers. And Brad Cox said he didn't blame the blinkers for why he didn't win the race, but you do wonder if maybe he doesn't have blinkers. Does he see Renegade coming from the outside and he figures out a way to finish the race?
Yeah, no, like you said, we talked with Commandment putting the blinkers on for the first time and trying to get him more focused, and not go so wide on the turns. But no, you have a point there. Like, if you don't have those on, you can kind of see what's going on in your peripherals, and maybe you see him coming. But I don't know. Renegade was just the better horse that day. I mean, he lost. I mean, he was what, five or so lengths behind Commandment in the Belmont when Commandment finished second, and he got his revenge on him.
Well, and that was another reason too. Like, I just thought that Commandment's Derby race, you could throw it out a little more because there's 20 horses. It's harder to throw out a Belmont race where there's not 20 horses. But I think that race, Renegade just didn't have his best stuff. And I even talked about it. You're leaving Renegade out of your tries. This horse is probably too good to do that. And it ends up burning you. But in this race with 5 horses, really only 4, because Aston Answered, who's the horse that you could remember, had no chance. Like, this horse had no business being in this race. So there's 4 horses to bet. You had to take one of the favorites out to even try to win money. And because it was Renegade and Commandment 1-2, I think the $1 exacta played $4. Like, it was not a race to make money. But I think Renegade is now clearly pointed towards the Travers. And, we've seen multiple horses over the last couple of years go from winning the Dandy to winning the Travers. Sovereignty did it. Where I've got the list here. It's for the Sovereignty did it in 25, Fierceness did it in 24, and Essential Quality it did it in 21. Only 14 have done it since 1964, but it's happened a lot here recently.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if he can keep it up. See if he can keep it up.
Commandment might.
I was looking something up as you were talking there.
You're killing me. It's.
Yeah,
I mean, I've waited for. We're 10:30 going live. We normally do this at 8:30. I took a nap waiting for Neil to get ready to do this show. So you would expect him to be on his A game, but I don't know what he's looking up after I've just waited 20 minutes for him to finally jump on while we're staring at each other on the screen. Brad Cox talked about he didn't know what he was going to do with Commandment, potentially the Travers. I think maybe the Pennsylvania Derby was an option for him as well. But
we should. I mean, is there an update on Golden Tempo? I mean, they were pointing him toward the Travers after the injury. Is he still on track for that? Have we had any news on the show?
We got an update on Tempo. He breezed 4 furlongs over the main track at Saratoga on Sunday. With Jose Ortiz aboard. He did that 4 furlongs in 47.67. So looks like he is pointed towards the Travers and ready to go. Mike Rapoli talked about after the win how they would have loved to have seen Golden Tempo in the Dandy because he is the best horse of the crop, and you want to beat the best. But it looks like they'll get a chance as Renegade and Golden Tempo will go head to head in the Travers, which will be fun to watch because we really didn't see it in the Belmont like we did in the Derby. You want to see those two horses down the stretch fighting it out to see who's going to win.
Yeah, it'd be good to get Tempo back, see if he can still prove that he's the best of this not so great 3-year-old crop. But
so
he's all right.
Kind of a wrap on the Dandy. Like, it's just 4-horse field, impossible to win money. We tried to figure out a way to make some money, but when it's Commandment Renegade finishing 1-2, which probably everybody was predicting that. We just didn't because we were trying to win, buddy. But
I was hoping Chip Honcho would get out and hold the lead, and he did not. That would have been a little bit of value, but
just
not quite.
I don't think that horse is of the caliber of the
no,
horses
he's
that
not.
finished 1-2.
He's not.
And on this Saturday, we're staying at Saratoga. We've got an 8-horse field in the Whitney, and a lot of horses that ran in the Stephen Foster are running it back. And we will try to pick some winners, as I think Magnitude in the Foster is the last one I got right. Have you got one right as we've been predicting all these?
Came in second.
You're over?
I came in second, I believe, but yeah.
You're over?
No wins yet.
I didn't officially pick Napoleon Solo. I did talk about how I thought he was going to be a contender in the Preakness, so I can't officially take credit for that. But yeah, I did take Magnitude. So at least of all the horse races we've broke down, I've picked one winner. You need to get on the board.
I feel like we'll be on the board after this one. I think the Whitney I'll break the streak here at the Whitney.
But we do need to get started with the Whitney breakdown. In the 1-hole, starting on the rail, it is Magnitude. 9-5 on the morning line. Jose Ortiz remains aboard. It's won 4 straight. I mean, this horse, he's just, you talk about horses trending. This is a horse that's trending.
Yeah, no, and we talked about that back when he ran in the Foster. Like, he was coming in as the hottest horse in that race against a pretty good field, and I think once again it's the same thing. You know, he obviously won the Foster, so he stays hot. You mentioned he's won his last 4, including the Foster, but also that Dubai World Cup where he beat Forever Young, and he won a couple other stakes races as part of those 4 as well. So. I mean, also in his last race in that Foster, he ran his best equibase speed figure of a 116. So he's in good form right now. He's going to try to set the pace. I mean, that's what he does. He's going to try to get out fast. Problem is there's some other horses in this race that will also try to set that pace. So he's going to get pushed. So if he gets pushed a little too much, maybe that could spell some trouble. But yeah, he's coming in as a hot horse, and I think he's definitely got a chance to win this thing.
Well, you talk about the 116 or the 116 equibase figure, 110 on the Brisnet in that win in Stephen Foster. Like, let's not forget he broke through the gate at the start.
Oh yeah, that's right. They had to
and he had to be reloaded, and he still put up that performance. And to me, that adds even more quality to it. He's got Jose Ortiz aboard, who is just as hot as jockey as there is right now on the circuit. You're right. Like, I do think this next horse that we're going to talk about, Nitrogen, the filly, is going to push the pace on him a little bit. So we'll see how he handles that. It's his first Saratoga appearance since the Travers last year, where he was defeated by 20 and a half or almost 21 lengths.
20
by Sovereignty. Yeah. So if you're looking for a negative, that potentially could be one, as he's never won at Saratoga. But this horse is 9-5 for a reason.
Yes.
And
he is ranked number 1 in the NTRA polls as well.
I mean, he's got to be a win contender. If he's not, then you really don't know horse. In the 2-hole, it's Nitrogen, the filly, ridden by Johnny V, trained by Mark Cassie, going off at 4-1. If Nitrogen wins this race, she'll become the first female racehorse to win the Whitney since Personal Ensign in 1988. your thoughts on Nitrogen?
Yeah, I like this filly. 16 starts, has never finished outside of the money. So 16 starts, 8 wins, finished second 5 times, and then third 3 times. Finished first in her last race on June 5th at Saratoga in a grade 1, defeated fillies and mares in that one, and won by 12 and 3/4 lengths. So, a dominating performance the last time out. This filly's 3 for 3 on the dirt at Saratoga, so she's going to be right at home. She's going to try to press that pace with Magnitude, which, if Magnitude doesn't like it, then, Nitrogen's going to be right there to take it over. So, had a career best 117 equibase speed figure in that June 5th race that I just mentioned, which is slightly faster than Magnitude's best. The only negative I see here is Jose Ortiz has ridden Nitrogen in 14 consecutive starts and has opted to ride Magnitude. So this is going to be John Velasquez's ride, something that maybe Nitrogen's not familiar with that jockey. Could be a problem, but I think this horse is good enough to overcome that. Definitely a win contender.
Yeah, a lot of jockey changes in this race because, like you said, Jose Ortiz opting to ride Magnitude, which I think is the obvious decision there.
Correct. It is
coming off of Nitrogen. So Johnny V jumps aboard a Nitrogen, and then Johnny V is riding Nitrogen. So Manny Franco's aboard Antiquarian. So a lot of changes with the jockeys. Like you said, this horse is finishing the money every single time out. Now, the majority of those are against fillies and mares. So now we're running against the boys. How will this horse perform against the boys? And I am so excited just to see how she does. If it wasn't trying to go head-to-head with Magnitude, like one of the better front racing horses that are out there, I would say this horse has a chance. I don't know. I don't think it can go toe.
It's hard to over. 3 for 3 at Saratoga.
3 for 3 for Saratoga
just
too.
Won by 12 and a half or 12 and 3/4 lengths. You're gonna tell me it's not a win contender?
They can't all be win contenders.
They're not all win contenders. They're not.
And there's no doubt this horse can win the race. It has the speed figures to do it. And if it does it, I think it'll be a great story. I just think, I don't know. I think there are other horses that I would rank above Nitrogen as having the second or third best chance to win behind Magnitude. So I think you got to include it in your tries and your supers, but I don't know if Nitrogen is the win contender. It's tough to leave her out. I will say that. In the 3-0, it's Antiquarian, ridden by Manny Franco, as we just said, trained by Todd Pletcher, going off at 10-1. Your thoughts on Antiquarian?
Yeah, like we talked about Magnitude coming in as like a hot horse, and we've got Antiquarian here coming in is not. It's kind of a cold horse, I guess. If you maybe like a lukewarm-ish, not hot at all. So struggled in the last 2 races. Finished 4th on July 4th in the Grade 2 Suburban Stakes, and then finished 4th on June 6th in a Grade 1 Metropolitan Handicap. Where I mean it did go up against Nysos and Journalism in that Metropolitan, so both really, really good horses. But, lost in those 2 races by a combined 17 1/4 lengths, finished 8th last year in the Breeders' Cup Classic. So, when it's going up against quality horses, it doesn't seem like it's usually coming out on top, except for one time last August in the Grade 1 Jockey Cup when it beat Sierra Leone and White Abario. But that was a long time ago, about a year ago. So, ever since then, kind of been struggling a little bit. Top speed figure is a 113. It's going to be a stalker, so it's going to have to run down some pretty quality horses out front, and the 2 that we just talked about. And, Manny Franco's on board first time riding in, as you mentioned, with John Velasquez opting to ride Nitrogen instead. So I think that's all you need to know is John Velasquez thinks Nitrogen's a better horse. I think Nitrogen's also a better horse, as well as some other horses here. I don't really see this horse factoring in. I've got it as a toss.
See, I think this horse is going to be a little more off the pace in this race, potentially, because I just think it's going to be so fast up front.
Yeah.
Did get off to he stumbled a little bit in the Suburban Stakes, and that kind of put him behind the 8 ball. Now, look, he still finished 11 links back in
Yeah.
fourth place. So it's not like he was passing a ton of horses there at the end. Uh, yeah, I could still. This horse is going to go off at 10-1 or worse, and I do think this. I mean,
Value.
it's just I think there's some value here. This horse isn't going to win the race,
Mhm.
but I could see it potentially finishing third or fourth to help, you know, get that get that super price up. Um, but it's not a win contender, but I'm putting it in my tries in my super. Ford Steel going off in the 4 hole, ridden by Michael Husbands, trained by Safi Joseph. The owners is C2 Racing Stable, which also is the same owners of White Abario. And this horse, I don't think really has any chance at all, and is strictly in here to
Yep.
be a rabbit to
Yep.
try to help set up the pace for White Abario. So, if you got anything to add to that, but this horse has no chance to win or finish in the money. It's trying to set up White Abario to
That's
finish off the race.
you're spot on. It's the only reason this horse is in there is to just try to wear magnitude down, get up there to just try to run him out a little bit. So no, this horse doesn't have a chance. And we just talked about the Suburban Stakes. He finished 5th in that one in his last race behind Antiquary. And yeah, no, I've got this as a toss.
And then we move to the other horse from that stable, White Abario, ridden by Irad, trained by also Safi Joseph. Coming off a really disappointing 4th place finish in the Stephen Foster. This horse has just been kind of, you don't know what you're going to get. But maybe there's value there if it's a good day for White Abario. What are your thoughts on this horse?
Yeah, if it stays around 8-1, there is some value there. It's an old horse, obviously, the oldest horse in the race.
7 years old.
7 years old, 27 starts. Like you mentioned, he finished 4th in that Stephen Foster behind Magnitude, Baeza, and Sovereignty. Was it not his best effort because the track was a sloppy track because it was raining there at Churchill? Maybe. So, maybe that factored in. I don't know. But this horse is inconsistent. I mean, it's run well in the past here at Saratoga. It won this race, the Whitney, back in 2023 and posted its highest speed figure of his career back then, was at the time was a 122. So maybe he likes this track. Maybe he can, get back to the glory days of when he was running those high speed figures. He had a great start to 2026 when he had a victory in the Oaklawn Handicap back in April and beat Sovereignty and Journalism, and then was second in a great race in the Pegasus World Cup in January. So he was good to start the year. Kind of struggled, like you mentioned, in that Stephen Foster, but I don't know. I just think that there's other horses in here that are slightly better. I'd put him in the Tri-Supers range.
Yeah, dude, you talk about that Whitney back in 03 or 23.
Mm-hmm.
He beat Zandit and Cody's Wish.
Yeah.
And this horse is still running. And we've talked about this before the Stephen Foster. Like, the fact that this horse is still running, has name recognition, like, this is what horse racing needs. They need names like this that people are familiar with. And I just think it's so cool that this horse is still running at 7 years old. You talked about potentially him getting back to Saratoga could be a positive because he won the Whitney in 23.
He hadn't finished in the money in the other 4 starts. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And that's kind of what this horse is to me. Like, he's not a super try contender. He's either you're betting this horse to win to hoping you hit big, or you're leaving him out completely, because that's pretty much what this horse does. You don't know what you're going to get. I think because his name recognition is what it is, I think he could go off a little higher than 8-1. It might be closer to 6-7-1. But
his best chance. I mean, if he's going to win, he needs that quick early pace. He needs that, the Ford Steel and Ford Steel to do his job. I mean, that's what Ford Steel's in here to do, is to help White Abario, and he needs Ford Steel to do his job. So if he does, then yeah, I think he has a chance. And with those odds, yeah, it's worth him a win bet.
And look, he didn't fire in the Foster at all, and I think some of that may have to do with the floppy track. Like, that could be an excuse for him.
Right.
So this horse, it's such a cool horse, and you just never know what you're going to get. Like, I think it's worth, if he's 8-1, it's worth a $10 win bet just to see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
But And look, maybe put him in your tries and supers, but I think it's either all or nothing with this guy. I
I
think he's
mean,
either going to
he
finish
did
first or
finish
he's going to
second.
finish out of the money,
He finished second back in January, so it's possible it's a try. I put
which
him
is
in the
the
try
only
super.
time
I know.
other than back in December of what 24. That's the only other time he's finished second. The other times he's either finished fourth or out of the money. In the 6-0, it's your boy, Sovereignty, ridden by Junior Alvarado, trained by Bill Mott, going off at 3-1. You were on this horse in the Foster. You are a stan of this horse.
Yeah.
Where are we riding?
We're kind of, we might be getting off the ride. I don't know. I don't want to get off the ride yet because I really, really like this horse, but it might be time that the roller coaster ride has come to an end and it's time to move on. So he just hasn't, I mean, he's still a good horse. Don't get me wrong. I mean, his odds at 3-1 tell you he's a great horse, and he just hasn't been the same as he was in 2020. I mean, in 2025, when he wins the Derby, the Belmont, the Travers, the Dandy, he would have been one of the favorites in the Breeders' Cup before he got scratched. Like, that's the horse that I remember and the horse that a lot of people expect. And then when you look at his first two starts of 2026, and he's, finishing third in the Foster, and he finished second back in April in the Oaklawn to White Barrier. So he's losing to these horses that he's going up against, these, three other horses that are in this race, and he's lost to all of them in 2026. So I might be getting off the ride. I don't think he's going to win this thing. I would still put him in my try. But it just sucks. I wish he was going to win, but it's just, he's not the same.
Look, he definitely hasn't had the form that he had in 25. But if I'm looking at these two races, I think you can make excuses for both.
You're on the excuse train here. You're on the excuse train.
Well, in the Oaklawn, he was way too close to the lead. Way too close to the lead. And the pace was fast, which allowed White Barrio to come and just storm past everyone.
Yeah.
And then potentially maybe the slot played a role in the Foster. Now,
there's other horses. Three other horses that also ran in the slop in the Foster.
I know, and this horse has ran on the slot before. He won the Derby in the slot.
Correct.
So, if you just look at his speed figures, he's better than every horse in this race, even magnitude. If you just break it down consistently for his entire career. And, I mean, do you think he'll go off at 3-1?
Yeah. I just think that everybody just knows he's the Derby winner. He's, the Belmont winner. I think the name is going to make his odds probably lower than they probably should be, but.
Well, and also the last 3 times he's won on this track. So I think it's odd because you're jumping off when he's going back to a track that he loves, because I potentially think this is where you would jump on Sovereignty.
I'm just looking at the last 2 races, and he's losing to these other horses that are in this race. And his speed figures, although, like you said, they're still good, like they're just not up to where they were, last fall, last summer.
Yeah, the last 3 times he's won have all been on this track. And the pace is going to be a little faster, which I think could set up for him because magnitude is going to get pressed a little bit. Now, I am a fan of horses on the lead. Like, as a handicapper, I like that because it takes out any kind of trouble, takes it out of the equation.
Right.
So probably would make me lean magnitude, but I do think Sovereignty can win this race.
So you're putting him as a win contender. Okay.
In the 7-hole, we have Tistastic, trained by Tyler Gaffalione, or ridden by Tyler Gaffalione, trained by Steve Asmussen. 30-1. And I think for good reason. Can this horse get in the money? It's a closer. Could have gotten the money.
It all comes down to the pace again. If it's a fast early pace, it could help him get into the tri-supers as he's, running by some horses late. But other than that, I mean, I don't think he gets, up to the win category or even in an exacta category. So I would keep him in a tri-super if you have him in there at all. His speed figures, best speed figures are 105, which is just not comparable to some of these other horses. He finished third in his last race, the Suburban Stakes, where he did beat Antiquarian and Fort Steele, who were in this race. But yeah, finished 10th in the Derby. His other 2 stakes races last year after the Derby, he finished 9th and 10th. So when he's running against some quality competition, it just doesn't go his way. So no, I'm not even going to put him in the Tri-Super. There's a potential he gets there, but no, I've got him out.
Yeah, I just don't. If you just match this horse's resume up with everybody else, he doesn't belong in this race. And I don't care if he's 50-1. I don't think I'm putting him in my tries or supers. Now, look, if the pace completely collapses, am I going to feel like an idiot if he finishes 4th and I don't have him in my supers? Yeah, probably. But I just
At 30-1, it's worth it. I think for 30-1, if you're going to try to win some money, it's worth maybe throwing something on there.
It's maybe, but maybe like I don't know. It's just there's 2 horses in this race that don't belong.
Yeah,
and
correct.
And he's one of them.
Correct.
Could I be talked in to be like, look, it's worth a shot, just throwing him in 3rd and 4th potentially? But I don't even see him finishing that high. In the 8 hole, it's Baeza going off at 7-2, ridden by Flavian Pratt, trained by Bill Mott. Like, this horse just can't figure out how to get out of the gate, and then rallies late to finish in the money for the most part. Is just 2 for 11 in his career. But I still think a lot of people are fans of this horse.
I mean, it's hard not to be a fan of the horse. Like you said, you got to get out of the gate, man. Like the last 3 races, he's struggled to get out of the gate. And then you're looking at the finish line and he's charging past everybody. And if the races were just a little bit further, he probably would win. So if he can get off to a good start, then yeah, he maybe has a chance, I think, of breaking this, reputation of being such an, oh, he's so close, like the but what ifs. And so, like his right, like that last race against Stephen Foster, when he lost the magnitude. I mean, he was the fastest horse down the stretch. So yeah, I mean, he's always there. He's always there. Yeah, his best speed figure came in the Foster when he posted a 114. So if he can duplicate that again and have another great effort like that, I mean, he's got a chance. He's got a chance.
I mean, we were there on Oaks Day in the Alishuba where he did the same thing.
Yep.
And had a bad start and rallied flying down the lane to get to 3rd. And I do think this is a good horse, but I don't know how you can trust it to get out of the gate and to beat horses of this magnitude. There's no way, like at 7-2, there's no way I'm taking Baeza at 7-2 on the morning line when I can get Dodgerse at 3-1. There's just no way.
No, I would agree with that. Yeah.
And I would like to see this horse win a race, and I think he has the ability to do it. But the only greatest stakes horse this horse has won in his career is the Pennsylvania Derby. And he did beat Magnitude in that race. But I just think 7-2 is too high for a horse that's won 2 times in 11 tries that struggles to get out of the gate. Now, do I think that I think he'll finish in the money because that's what he does?
Yeah, definitely. I would definitely have him in your try. Definitely.
But I just can't trust this horse, especially when he's that close to what Sovereignty's line is. And it'll be interesting to see what they go off at. But you got to include him because he figures out a way to finish at the end. I mean, he's done it every race except for the Classic, where he's finishing the money. And I mean, that race, look, he's just up against like horses that he's not going to beat, and Forever Young and Fierceness. But you got to have him in your tries and your supers. But I don't think Baez is a win contender. So what you want to do? Top 4?
Yeah, I've got 4 in mind. Yep.
All right, what you got?
I guess we're starting with like who we think's winning. Is that what we're gonna go with?
Do your 1 through 4. Do your 1 through 4.
I got Magnitude on top. He's gonna get out quick. In just his most recent results. I mean, he's just coming in as, he's probably gonna win Horse of the Year if he can win this race. So He's coming in hot. He's going to get out front. I think he stays there. Like kind of a Stephen Foster-esque kind of run from him. So give me Magnitude out in first. After that, the next three, it gets close. Give me Sovereignty second, Nitrogen in third, and Baeza fourth. And I could switch Baeza and Nitrogen, but those are my top four.
I'm going to flip it on you.
Okay.
I don't think Sovereignty's done.
Okay.
And I think Nitrogen and Ford Steel are really going to push the pace on Magnitude. I think he's going to fight.
Yeah.
I think he's going to fight like hell down the stretch, but I think Sovereignty's going to get him. I think this is where Sovereignty, back at Saratoga, gets back in the winner's circle.
Okay.
So I'm going Sovereignty up top, Magnitude second, Baeza in third because that's what Baeza does. And then I'm going to go Antiquarian, rounding them up in the Super to finish in fourth. It'll give you a little bit of a price. I think this horse can do it. I think his numbers
he's finished
are better than 10-1.
Yeah, he's finished fourth in his last two races, so you putting him in fourth. Yeah. But you're off Nitrogen, who's never finished outside the money.
Yeah, you got to be off somebody. And
that's one to be off of when in 16 starts they've been in the money 16 times.
Well, you've been in the money 16 times when she's racing against fillies and mares, and now she's going against boys. Like I think there's a reason why fillies and mares don't race against the boys all the time. Now, look, I am excited to see this race and see what she does, and if she wins, I think it's going to be awesome.
You've seen the speed figures from her.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
Okay.
So I'm going Sovereignty, Magnitude, Baeza, and Aquarian, and you're going Magnitude, Sovereignty.
Give me Nitrogen. Yeah, give me Nitrogen and then Baeza. Yeah.
Okay. So we're both leaving out White Barrio.
Yeah. He's just the grandpa of the group, man. I think he's just, yeah. And I'm leaving him out.
We're both leaving out White Barrio. We're leaving out the two horses, the Tistastics and the Ford Steel, and then we use the rest of them.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I'm excited there's more horses in this field.
Yeah. Yeah, the 5-horse races when really there's only 4 quality horses. I mean, it's fine. It's exciting because 4 of the horses are great, but when you can get more quality horses in a race, it makes it way more fun.
And this pod is going to be so much horse racing because there's more horse racing news that came out earlier this week. Churchill Downs and Naira announced the unveiling of the Thoroughbred Championship Series, which is a new 6-race competition that will begin next year. And it will feature the Derby, the Belmont, the Matt Winn Stakes at Churchill, the Jim Dandy Stakes at Saratoga, the Travers Stakes at Saratoga, and then there will be a championship race at Churchill.
Just the championship race. We're just going to make a race up now.
Yeah, I mean, all of these races are going to be on TV. The races at Churchill will be on NBC. The races at Saratoga and Belmont will be on Fox. I think it's cool that Naira and Churchill are working together, that the New York tracks and obviously Churchill here in Louisville are working together. Your overall thoughts on this for horse racing?
No, I love it. Like when you can have more races with quality horses in it, it's good for the sport. It's good for the viewers. It's good for the fans. So, as long as the owners buy in, I think, what is it, a $5 million prize at the end of it all? So as long as, the owners buy into it and want to go after it, it's going to be great. I mean, it's going to make for some really good racing. What it also does is I think we've killed the Preakness, which is very unfortunate because, Triple Crown was always like, the crown jewel of the sport. But in recent years, as we've talked about, everybody's skipping the Preakness. The Preakness has become irrelevant. And there was a few ideas we threw out there and trying how to fix it. I think Churchill Downs tried to buy the Preakness and try to fix it. And when that got shot down, I think the writing was on the wall. So good night, Preakness. I mean, you'll still get some horses in there, but it's not it's never going to be the same.
It's not. I mean, yeah, it diminishes the Preakness a little bit. It's not completely good night to the Preakness.
Not completely, but it's if
And
it doesn't. I mean,
it
you're not
doesn't
gonna get those Derby horses in there anymore.
it's still a part of the Triple Crown. This does not the Triple Crown is still a thing.
Correct.
This just does not include the Preakness as part of the point structure for this 6-race series. I I will say Del Romans talked, and I think one of the reasons why the Preakness isn't included now because they don't know when it's going to be raced, where it's going to be raced next year. When it permanently gets back at Pimlico, there are talks that this is a working series, that this isn't what it's going to be. They could potentially add races, so
Yeah.
potentially the Preakness could be added. Um, they, I think the way that it's going to be structured is that you must race in 4 of the 6 races to qualify, and then there'll be some kind of point system based on your finishes, and the Derby will hold the highest. Like, you get the most points for the
Yeah.
Derby.
Well, that makes
But
sense. Yeah.
the main thing about this is name recognition with horses.
Hmm.
And people know the horses that run in the Derby because that is the most watched Derby, or the most watched race in the country. And to
Correct.
have those horses continue to go up against each other 5, 6 more times, it is going to be great for horse racing, and it's smart to capitalize on that. I do think it's sad that the Preakness is being left out, and hopefully it could be added here in the future because it needs to be included into this. And
Oh, there's no doubt it should be. Yeah.
but the issue is Churchill tried to buy it and was on the verge of buying it, and then the state of Maryland said, "Nah, we have the right of refusal, and we're buying the rights to the Preakness." And so Churchill maybe had a little bit of vendetta in this because we tried to get it, and now we're gonna show you that you should have just let us buy it and let us, because then it definitely would have been a part of this series. There's
A
no doubt
thousand
about it.
percent. There's no
No doubt
question.
about it. So I think that played a role. But overall, I think this is a great thing for horse racing. And there's other races like the Ohio Derby and the Pennsylvania Derby and all of them kind of being left out. The Haskell Stakes, which we talked about a couple weeks ago, not being included in this. So there are some races that are being left behind. But I think overall, this is really good for horse racing. And honestly, they should do the same thing for the older group. They should do something similar for the older group of horses. And we just talked about the Foster. Now we're talking about the Whitney. They need to do something similar because, like, people like the familiarity of seeing horses that they're familiar with running against each other.
Oh yeah.
And that's what's going to make the Whitney fun on Saturday. And that's what's going to make the series fun.
I would agree with that. Absolutely.
Any other changes to it other than adding the Preakness?
I mean, we haven't done anything yet, so I mean, I don't know what I would change because I
With
haven't
the
actually
structure,
seen.
like,
No, no. I mean, those 6 races, or I mean, 5 of them are staples in the sport, and then we just add this championship race, whatever that
I mean,
means.
we're already watching these races,
I
right?
mean, sure. So
People
we
that
got
love horse racing, but
yeah,
now there's just a point system for all of them, and
yeah. So no, I wouldn't change anything yet. I think that the ideas that they have out there are great. We'll see how it works, and I mean, if you need to tweak it, you tweak it. But I think the plan that's been presented is a good one.
we'll be calling this Grand Championship race.
Should call it the height differential stakes.
Well, it probably costs a little bit. We really got to get our followers up by next
Let's get a
whenever that race
GoFundMe.
is.
Get a GoFundMe started for this thing.
We need to start something. Might need to rob a bank or uh, do a lot more and start a GoFundMe if we want to get our name on that.
Well, we're definitely not going to get there betting 9-5 horses to win. That's for sure.
No, but we've got more opportunity to make some money this week in the Whitney than we did last week in Dandy. There was no way to make money in that race.
There was not.
And when you try to act like you try to force stuff into happening because you want to make money, and then it makes you look like even more of an idiot that don't know horse. And Renegade was too good of a horse for us to be picking back and forth, probably.
That's true. Yeah.
But it's just boring too to pick 2 horses that are going to be 6-5 and 8-5. But I mean, I guess we both just pick Sovereignty and Magnitude 1-2 and the Whitney, which is going to be 3-1 and 8-5. So I don't know. We just talk about it both sides of our mouth sometimes. The trade deadline was earlier this week. Surprise, surprise. The Dodgers get Tarik Skubal. A lot of people, like, your thoughts. Like, is this a Dodgers problem? Is it a baseball problem? Like, to me, like, there's no rules against it. They're the best team. They spend the money. Go get the best players.
Yeah,
like,
I'm
I
not
hate it as a great fan, but
yeah, I'm not blaming the Dodgers. And like you hear their GM or their owner, they're basically saying, if there's 32 other teams that could have gotten Skubal if they wanted to, you just got to pay the right price. And the Dodgers have it figured out. They've got the money. They've got a lot of deferred money, which allows them to spend now. So it's not the Dodgers' fault. I don't blame them. It sucks. Like, the baseball definitely has a competition problem when the Dodgers, are spending all this money, and other teams like the Reds or the Guardians or the Marlins or whoever are spending a fraction of that. So they're never going to be competitive. So there's definitely a problem. And, going into this collective bargaining agreement that most likely will end in a strike, they're trying to solve some of these issues. So I don't know. I don't blame the Dodgers. It sucks. They're going to win the World Series again. There's nothing anybody can do about it.
Well, I mean, that's the thing about baseball, though. Like, you just never know what's going to happen. The best team doesn't always win. The Dodgers have done it the last 2 years, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen again this year.
Doesn't mean it, but they've got.
I mean, the Blue Jays were a couple outs away from winning it all last year, and now they're fire selling their team.
Yeah,
but like, to me, like, you knew the Dodgers were going to make moves. Like, that's not a surprise.
No.
And you knew if the Tigers were going to trade Skubal, then they were going to be probably the team to get him. And that's what happened. To me, like, the Tigers are 2 games out of the wild card, and they're trading one of the best pitchers in baseball. Like, is that not a little bit of a problem?
I mean, what was Skubal's deal? Is he on the last year of his deal?
Yeah, I mean, and they knew they were going to lock him up, but do you not take? I don't know. I don't know. And then the Red Sox gave up their whole farm system in their trades. A month ago, they were dead.
3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, they
16 games in a row.
Yeah.
And they traded 3 of their top 5 prospects. So, I don't know. If I'm the Tigers and I'm 2 games out of the wild card, if you get in the playoffs in baseball, you just never know what's going to happen. And if you got Skubal at the top of that rotation, who knows what you can do?
No, it's the same every year. It's the same teams that are spending money and making deals, and it's the same teams that are just sitting on their hands and not doing anything because they don't want to spend any money. It's always the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Cubs, the Phillies, the Mets. Like, these are the same teams every year that are making moves, spending money, going and trying to win championships. And when's the last time you heard the Cincinnati Reds make a big deal, or the Oakland A's? Or, it's like the Miami Marlins, like these same teams that just kind of sit on their hands, and they're constantly in rebuild mode. They don't try to win championships. They don't spend money. They're just rebuild. And the Reds, I don't even know what the Reds were doing. And we can talk. We're going to talk about them and the Braves not doing anything. But the Reds have all these expiring contracts, and you only unload 2 of them. And one was for $250,000 in international bonus money or some bullshit. Like, your two biggest, expiring contracts that were going to bring back the biggest haul were Tyler Stevenson and Brady Singer, and you kept them both.
Yeah.
Like, what?
I mean,
to what? Hopefully win 4. Like, the difference between them leaving and staying is what? You're going to win 4 more games? What does that matter?
Well, you got to have a trade partner on the other end, and you got to get what you want. Now, look, if you get late in the deadline and
what are you asking
where you're getting nothing for them, then you're
right. But that's the thing. Like, are you just asking for something so outrageous that nobody wants to dance with you? Like,
and look, dude, I don't like crushing people on this pod, but Nick Krall looks like an idiot in that press conference. Like, he's wearing a plain green polo in front of a sink. In front of a sink. The sink is the backdrop. Like, what are we doing? Why is there's no Reds logo on his body or on the backdrop behind him at all? Like, why are we allowing this as a Reds organization for this to go out in public? It's such a bad look.
It's a bad look. It's a joke.
And look, when the Reds do make a move, they get Brian Hayes, who bats .082 and has 5 more years on his contract.
Yes.
Like, what are we doing? Like, they don't have the the financial capability to make mistakes like that. And you finally make a move and you get a guy like that who now you want to unload and nobody will take him. And then you go do a presser in front of a sink in a green polo.
But it's like, so if you're the Reds, right? And right now you're sitting, I think they're about 5 games out of the wild card. They still have about 5 teams in front of them to try to pass. So the odds of you doing it, not great, but you're not so far out of it that you maybe couldn't make a run. But you did nothing to improve your team for 2026 this current year. And you've done nothing to improve your team for 2027, which is what you sell at the deadline. That's what you're aiming for. So you did nothing to improve this year's team to try to win, and then you did nothing to improve next year's team. And if you don't do one of those two things, why do you have a job? Like, what are you doing?
I don't know. And now they're in, like, I don't know if it's true or not, but they're saying they're looking to trade Hunter Green. Like, whose contract is about as manageable as you can have for a frontline starter?
For an ace, yeah.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
It's Nick Krall. Like, Castellini suck. Nick Krall sucks. Like, the Cincinnati sports franchises have the worst owners and the worst GMs, which I guess if you want to call Duke Tobin GM, but the worst GMs and the worst ownerships in their respective leagues.
Bro, the Bengals aren't even in the same conversation.
No, they're not. They're not. They're not. I mean,
which is
insane.
Amazing.
Which is insane.
Amazing.
Yes. Yeah.
But you've got 2 starters locked up for 5 years. And like, good on them for getting that done too. But then, and look, maybe it wasn't true, but usually when there's talks, if they're looking to trade people, there's at least a little bit of smoke to that. I mean, hey, if you like, yeah, I'll take Hunter Green and his contract. Of course.
Like, it just, like, it sucks because, like, Cincinnati is a baseball town. Like, the Reds are one of the most storied franchises in baseball history. You know, they've won 5 World Series. They have the biggest opening day in all of baseball. Like, it's a huge thing. Like, the Reds fans will support this team, but you got to give them something to support. And when you're in the offseason and you have a chance to go get a guy like Kyle Schwarber and you screw that up, what is the message here? Like, what do you want Reds fans to do?
Yeah, I don't know why we really didn't go more into that when it happened, because he wanted to be a Red.
Yes, like, it was there for the taking, and you
go
didn't
make it happen. Go make it happen.
Just screw it up. Like, it's so.
Go make it happen. But no,
they're just stuck in a wheel of mediocrity, and they don't try to get out of it.
Yeah, they don't. You got to trade Tyler Stevenson. You got to trade Brady Singer. Like, you have to.
Since you got Caleb Ferguson for $250,000 in international signing bonus space or some crap. I don't know.
Now, the Braves did go out and get 2 former Reds. That was their big move. You got Brent Suter and Tyler Mahle. So see if that takes them over the top. There were talks that they were trying to get Jacob deGrom, and he said, "Nah, I ain't leaving Texas."
How's he doing now? I haven't been following the Rangers. Is he doing? Is deGrom having a decent year?
I mean, I think he's hovering around a 4 ERA. He's actually been healthy this year.
Yeah,
which that has been his biggest problem. But Skubal loses tonight to the Cubs in his Dodgers debut.
I saw that. But I mean, if as a Brave, like, you want to get better, but I mean, you guys are pretty damn good as you are.
Yeah, but their starting rotation just doesn't have a lot of depth to it. Which adding another frontline starter, not even an ace, like just a good 2 or 3 would have been what they were probably looking to do. And
would a Brady Singer Singer have piqued your interest?
I mean, I don't know. I think he's kind of what they have now. I mean, look, to make a trade, you have to have somebody, like, both ends of the trade have to agree. And I just think when it becomes 4 or 5, getting close to 6 o'clock, and you've got guys that are into their contract, and you're going to lose them for nothing or lose them for a couple prospects, your price probably comes down a little bit. And maybe by the time their price came down, it was just too late. But the Reds have got to trade those guys. And you talk about the the strike that could be and like all there's got to be a spending ceiling and a spending floor.
Oh, there's no
Like
doubt. You have to have a floor.
like the
Yes.
Dodgers spending what they spend is an issue, but they're not breaking any rules. But the problem is the teams that aren't spending money at all to be competitive. That's more of a problem with baseball than the Dodgers. At least the Dodgers are trying to put an entertaining product out there. And I'm not a fan of the Dodgers, but at least they're trying to win.
I agree.
I mean, these teams that aren't even trying, that's
And
what's
if your
been
ownership,
wrong with
like,
baseball our entire lives.
it's like if you're the owners of, like, if you're the Castellinis, right, and you own the Reds, like, I mean, I guess you're making money on it, but what joy do you get out of this? Like, the fans hate you. Your team sucks. Like, what joy are you getting in owning the Cincinnati Reds when they don't win? The fans don't like you. What's the point? Like, if I owned a team, I would want my team to be good. I would want the fans to be happy, right? Like, I want this thing to be a success, and you don't even try to do any of that.
No, and like they gotta. And look, the Bengals, them not making the playoffs the last 3 years has been a failure, but fans
They're
have still shown
trying.
up. The fans have shown up because the product. At least they score points, right?
Yes, and they re-signed the guys that we wanted them to re-sign. Like, they are
Right.
at least trying to be good.
And then 2 years ago, they re-signed T and Jamar, and they just didn't have the wherewithal to do anything but the defense, and that's why you suck, and that's why you
Yeah.
don't make the playoffs.
Yes.
But then a year later, you go and fix your defense, and now everybody's excited again. Like the Reds could look at Ellie and Sal Stewart being their Joe and their Jamar, and then you got you got a 1 and 2 pitcher that's locked up too, and build around that. Like get some excitement in the city for baseball. Like
Well, then
you're
but then
right, they'll show up.
But like the Bengals also did something that they never do, and they go out and they trade and get a huge, a huge guy in Dexter Lawrence. Like, they never do that, but they did it because they know that they needed to do it because they want to win, and one, they want to show the fans that they're doing it. Like, the Reds would never go get a guy like a Dexter, like the equivalent of a Dexter Lawrence in baseball.
No, and I never thought the Bengals would either.
But they did. The Bengals showed that they could do it.
But we hear Duke Tobin talk once or twice a year, and what did he say in that end of the season? I'm a defensive line guy. Like we got to get our defensive line right. And then he actually went out and made moves to prove that that's really what he wants to do.
They made a splash. They made a big splash. The Reds, like they don't even dip their toe in the pool. Like they don't make any splash. Like zero splash.
I mean, Suarez is their big splash. That's their big splash this year. I mean, it is, right?
I guess. Sure.
It's the only thing they've done in the offseason and in the season.
That ain't a splash.
Like, you don't get Schwarber, so let's bring Suarez back.
Yeah, like Schwarber's the splash. Like, you had the chance to make it, to jump on in that deep end and cannonball.
I agree.
Make that splash, and you just...
I know.
Everything for them to just stand by Nick Krall for as many years as he's been there is just...
Do you not own a Reds polo, dude? Like he doesn't own a Reds polo.
Oh, yeah, Krall. Yeah.
Like what the?
He can take mine. I'll lend him mine. He can keep it.
Like I just can't imagine. Like being media relations side, anybody. Like if I'm setting up an interview, allowing anybody associated with the organization to go officially on camera in a public appearance without any kind of logo for the team they're representing on. And then you put them in front of a sink. Like, what if somebody would have came in and washing their hands in the background? Like, I got on the video of this pod, I got to put a still shot of what it looked like. Because have you seen it? It looked ridiculous.
He does. He's just an idiot. Yeah.
You had the idea, like, we need to do more drafts. So last week, we did best food leftover.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the response has been pretty positive. We need to do more of those. We've got some ideas for things that we probably left out. Chinese food being one of them.
Yeah.
What were some other things that we may have left out? We got killed for saying chili not higher. I got that at 3. There were some people saying we should have picked chili higher.
Yeah.
I thought it was a value selection getting it there.
We didn't draft ham, right? We just threw that in as a what could have
Just
been.
threw that in at the end. Yeah.
But I've had some ham suggestions.
But overall, dude, Uncle Steve loved your pie selection.
He did.
Was big on your pie selection. Also said you could have just thrown that into Thanksgiving dinner and then you wrap up the whole game with your first pick because you've got turkey and stuffing and pie and everything. So we're gonna keep the food. It's not always gonna be a food draft, but we're gonna keep the food theme this week. And I guess because you went first last week, I'll go first this week.
Yeah.
But we're gonna do foods that are impossible to eat cleanly.
Like your favorite foods, like your right.
The foods that are the messiest to eat. Like you're obviously not gonna. You're not gonna deal with the mess if you don't like it.
No, but we're not drafting based on the messiness, right?
You're drafting based on the messiness. Because that's what the thing is. It's the messiest foods to eat.
But they have to be like foods you like. Like
well, if you're not gonna deal with the mess if you don't like it.
Okay.
Right?
I thought we were just drafting like our favorite messiest foods. Our favorite foods that are impossible.
I think that plays a role, but it's not the end all be all.
I mean, I could tell you the messiest food, but I might like hate it. But if I'm drafting,
then that's not going to be on here because you're not going to deal with the mess and eat it. Because why would you deal with it if you hate it?
So you're saying like your favorite messy foods. All right, just go.
My first pick. I mean, it's got to be ribs.
Ooh, wow.
It's got to be ribs.
Okay.
Like, because you got to pull the bones apart. You're getting the barbecue all over your fingers. You get barbecue all over your, like you're going to have 47 napkins while you're like, ribs is got to be the number 1 pick.
So like that means like you think it's the messiest, but you also enjoy eating ribs.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll deal with the struggle because they're good.
My number 1 pick, which is probably one of my favorite foods, give me the saucy wings. Give me the buffalo wings. Any kind of sauce that you like on there. If you don't like spicy, just give me the chicken wings. Sauce them up.
Yeah, and that's similar to ribs, right?
It is.
You're still like the difference is you don't have to like tear them apart, like separate them.
But you're getting it all over the face.
Very similar. Now,
tell me if you agree or disagree with this move. Here's how I eat my wings. I only eat my wings one-handed. Like if I do take your wings two-handed and give it the little thing. See, I always keep one hand clean so I can pick up my drink and not make a mess on my cup. And I just one hand the wing the whole way.
I'm probably a two-hander.
You're a two-hander.
I see what you're saying. Like, honestly, you got your flats. Like, I've gotten to where you try to get at least one of the bones out completely. And maybe even sometimes both bones.
You got to rip the flat.
Both bones.
You rip the bone off the flat.
There's a whole strategy with the fingers to get it out of there.
I know.
And then you just get a clean bite. Like, flats over drums all day, right?
I would agree with that. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That
but
is
yeah,
correct.
I think ribs and wings are right there hand in hand, 1, 2. Which one you pick first overall, I think can go either way. But I think your third pick maybe gets a little tougher.
Okay.
Well, your second pick, but the third pick overall.
That's right. Give me now. I can do like a broad category. I could get kind of specific here, but I mean the broad category would be like pasta. I love good pasta. You get sauce in the shirt, but let's go spaghetti and meatballs. Give me a spaghetti. Love spaghetti, but you got the red sauce. You're eating that spaghetti, and you're getting that red drip all over your shirt. You got the tomato sauce on your shirt.
You don't even get your hands in it. That's a terrible selection.
You don't. Why does it have to put no? But if it gets on your clothes,
you have 0 napkins. You have 0 napkins for spaghetti. All you have is
you're not thinking of the consequences. You're not thinking of the consequences. The consequence is with spaghetti, you're probably going to get it on your clothes. And then you go around looking like an idiot the rest of the day with freaking red stains on your shirt. You get it on your hands, guess what? You can wash it off and the mess is gone.
The whole thing about being messy.
You got to think of the consequences of the mess. You're not thinking of the consequences of the mess. So yes, you're eating pasta. You're getting it on your shirt, which is most likely. Don't wear a
I
white
might have
shirt.
to use a Tide stick for 5 seconds.
You gonna pull out a Tide stick every time?
Like,
No.
the messiness is the hands. That is where the mess is.
It doesn't have to be the hands.
Like, you're not getting spaghetti all over your face and all over your hands.
No, but you're going to get it on your shirt and you're going to look like a dumbass the rest of the day when you're walking around to that.
That is a terrible selection.
No, it's not. It's not.
It is awful selection.
Plus, like I said, I'm going quality of food here. I'm going stuff that I like. I'm putting spaghetti as a messy food that I like at my number 2 pick.
Well, we can name any food we want.
Pasta.
Because it's our favorite and put it in this list, but spaghetti is not messy.
Why do they have... Okay, then when you go to Skyline Chili, why do they give you a bib?
So you don't have to use the Tide stick.
Why do they give you a bib
on your shirt?
What?
So you don't have to use the Tide stick for 1 second on your shirt.
So it's messy because it's getting on your shirt. Yeah, but
they ain't giving you a stack of napkins like that.
You're not... Like I said, it's the consequence of the mess.
Now, if you said a coney instead of that's more messy.
No,
But all right,
you're an idiot.
I'm going crab legs. Number 4, my second selection. Like you gotta get in there, crack. Like it's all about getting your hands dirty. That's what this is about. You don't understand.
Okay.
I'm going crab legs. You're dipping in the butter. You're pulling them all out.
I got
getting it. Like you got your crab bib too. So if you're worried about the spaghetti, you got your crab bib when you're eating your crab legs.
Okay.
Getting all buttery. That's another thing where you have 47 napkins. And I think for my final selection, because I've got one more, right?
We're doing 3 or 4?
We're doing 3.
Okay.
And and with my final selection, I guess I will go corn on the cob.
Dude, they make corn holders. Like
nobody uses those corn holders. Nobody uses those corn holders. That's a terrible
pick. They make things you stick in the corn on the cob.
Nobody uses those.
You don't even get them.
They haven't used those since the 1970s.
Also,
I haven't seen those.
You hold it on the ends of the corn so they don't.
Nobody is taking the corn holders
on the cob. Oh my god!
Because you don't even need butter all over your hands.
Butter? Like how much butter are you slobbing on this thing, dude?
You put a lot of butter in your corn.
Jesus Christ! My God, I don't even think I make a mess when I eat corn on the cob.
And look, and here's the thing too. Like if I'm on a date, I ain't gonna eat corn on the cob. I ain't gonna eat ribs. I ain't gonna eat crab legs because I'm gonna look like an idiot. I'm gonna have corn all in my teeth, butter all over my face, butter all over my hands. Like that's what we're talking about here.
Okay. Well, I got one.
Like I would eat spaghetti on a date.
Well, I just got my last pick is going to crush your corn on the cob.
Well, fine.
Like it's going to crush it, and you're going to be like, "Damn, that's a really good one."
Okay, what is it?
Give me the cotton candy. You're picking that, and it's sticking to your fingers. It's all over your face. If you ever taken your niece or your nephews to the fair or a baseball game and they get a cotton candy, you're going to tell me that it ain't a complete disaster of a mess?
Yeah, for 8-year-olds.
If you ate a cotton candy, you're going to tell me you're not going to have a mess on your hands. You're going to tell me that if you ate cotton candy, you wouldn't have a mess.
I'm not going to be as messy as an 8-year-old. I think an adult can figure out how to eat cotton candy without getting it all over their face.
I don't think that it's possible, my guy.
I do. And also, when's the last time you're eating? Like you said, you're picking things that are your favorite foods. Is cotton candy one of your favorite foods?
I mean, you know my thoughts on cotton candy blizzards. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Cotton candy, I would eat. Yes, I would eat a cotton candy. Like if I'm at a baseball game, give me a cotton candy.
So I've got ribs, crab legs, and corn on the cob, and you have chicken wings, which is legit. And then you follow that up with spaghetti and cotton candy.
Well, I'm going pasta. And yes, and cotton
fine.
candy.
You can go whatever you want for that because it doesn't belong on this list.
Corn on the cob, my God, like it doesn't belong in this category.
Some honorable mention things. Ice cream cone.
Ice cream cone.
Maybe.
If you're an adult, you shouldn't be making a mess with an ice cream cone.
That's why I didn't select it. That's why I didn't select it because I am an adult.
I challenge you. I'm gonna get you a bag of cotton candy. I want you to eat it on air and tell me that it's not messy.
I will not have it all over my face. I guarantee.
Yes, you will. I guarantee you will.
Sloppy Joes, I think, could be another thing that could be on this list. That's just because falling off the sandwich, getting all over. Like the messiness is the hands and the sides of your mouth. Like, that's what we're looking for here.
You got to think about the consequence of the mess.
That is the consequence, is it not?
Okay.
Like, I'm thinking about things that I'm not going to eat on a date. And and I would eat ice cream on a date because I think I can handle that.
Why would you
I
not
would
eat
eat
crab? Why would you
if
not eat crab
if
legs
she
on a
want to
date?
get cotton candy at a ball game, I think I could eat that without looking like an idiot. But ribs, ribs, and crab legs and corn on the cob, no, I'm not doing that. No, you got it. Your performances have got to be better in these drafts.
I won the last draft. First of all, I've already won the first. I won the first draft, and I just crushed you in this draft. Like corn
You
on the cob.
did not.
You get
crush me.
disqualified for saying corn on the cob.
I get disqualified for saying corn on the cob, but you don't get disqualified for saying
Cotton candy.
fettuccine alfredo.
Yeah, because when that slaps on your shirt and you look like an idiot in front of your friends or your coworkers or your date, then they'll be like, dude.
Like first date, would you eat fettuccine alfredo or spaghetti?
Sure.
Like if you go to an Italian place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're
Are
running
you
a risk.
going? Are you going to eat ribs on a first date?
Sure.
You are.
Why not?
I mean, I'm not going to. No. But I would 100% eat pasta. And I think pasta is I think it's a very common first date food. I don't know. I think this wraps up season 1. What you have some of your favorite segments from what are some of the segments that stand out to you after season 1?
When you cussed me out about Dairy Queen cheeseburgers and you went and almost choked on a bread tie.
Well, I was cussing you out for 2 things. First off, your love of the cotton candy blizzard, which brings us back to why that was in your selections.
It's fantastic.
And then you're like, double cheeseburger, there's the best. And I go get it. And I'm like, oh, this burger's okay. And then 3 bites in, I get a freaking bread tie, plastic bread tie. The Bengals rant when we were in the snow and they didn't even try to clean the seats off at all. That was fun to rant about. It was fun to have an avenue to get some of that anger out because I was angry. And I don't get angry easily. But it was 3 degrees and that day was miserable. The game was miserable. So having an avenue to really just kind of unleash some of that.
I always enjoy getting to crush the Bengals after, and when we lost to the Jets and put up 40 points and we yelled at Duke Tobin for a solid 30 minutes on the show.
Yeah. You still talk about this all the time. My buttered noodle selection on Thanksgiving dinner is
it's the most unbelievable thing I've ever heard.
I mean, it's not as unbelievable as picking spaghetti in a messy food draft, but I'll be honest, I thought it was a normal thing. Like, you know what you know. Like, I've gone to the same Thanksgiving dinner my entire life. We've always had it. I just thought that was normal. So I learned a little bit about myself during that. The Christmas movie draft was fun when you pretend that Just Friends is a Christmas movie, which is not.
1,000% is a Christmas. They sing Christmas carols to the kids at the church. She runs over all the Christmas decorations in the front yard.
Yeah, there's movies that have Christmas in them. Did you think we get to episode 54?
Sure. We don't quit.
We're not quitters. I will say that. We are a lot of things. We are not quitters. But because it is already 11:35 and I have to be at a meeting at 8:30 in the morning, I think we are going to quit.
Well, I gotta be at the airport at 5:30 in the morning.
Well, you get to go to bed right away while I will be on my computer for the next 2 hours.
I haven't even packed.
Well, but you said you do that in the morning, so you're good.
I probably will wait till the morning.
Yeah, the last time we talked about traveling, I talked about I hadn't packed at night, and he was like, "Oh, I don't do that until the morning." I was like, "I feel like I'm a crazy person because I don't pack to travel at night, and you're doing it even at another level as wait until the morning."
Yeah, problem is it might wake the wife up, and she's gonna not be happy about that. But
so Vegas for a couple days.
Yeah,
don't get too crazy down there.
I mean, when it comes to FIVO Fest, there's no promises.
But I do hope you get to hang out with T. Higgins again.
He's got training camp, unfortunately.
That's not unfortunate. We gotta get ready. But this will conclude season 2. Or season 1. This will conclude. You would think I'd get better at this now that we're on to episode 54 where I can actually talk. But this will conclude season 1. We're going to take a couple weeks off. We talked about some of our favorite segments from season 1. I'm going to put together a little hits thing to put out on social over the next couple of weeks. But to everybody that's listened even a little bit during season 1, we appreciate it. And let's try to grow this thing even bigger in season 2. But we'll come back in season 2. College football, NFL will be right around the corner. And no, it's been fun. It's been fun.
Yep.
But I'm ready to edit this thing so I can go to bed at a decent hour.
All right. We'll let you go.
All right. For the 6-6 Neil, I am the 410 Nick. We appreciate everybody listening to season 1. We will see you here in a couple weeks for the start of season 2. We will talk to you then. You.
Kids had cross-country practice.
Mom's asked me to come over for dinner. I was like, can we do it Wednesday? Because we're doing the pod. I could have easily done it.
Could have done it.
We got to communicate that shit.
My bad, homie.
I'm stopping it.
Yeah, go eat your corn on the cob, you